today is Mohammed Kudu Abubakar, Deputy National President, Arewa Youth Consultative Forum.
Exactly.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Welcome to SaharaTV.
Thank you.
Firstly, I'd like to know your reactions towards the recent killings in Benue State by the Fulani Herdsmen.
Our position on the killing of Fulani Herdsmen in Benue State is very simple. It's very criminal, and they should not go unpunished. Because, first and foremost, I would say the Commissioner of Police in Benue State is not capable. And I think the Inspector General of Police should bring somebody who is capable of handling that job in Benue State, because the duty of a Commissioner of Police in each state is to protect life and property of that citizen. And he has failed. Why I say he has failed is that it's very simple. There is an attack first day, after 2 days, another attack, the following day, another attack. What is the security agents are doing in Benue State that they should allow that? Let me remind you, it happened in Zamfara State, where the president himself, Muhammadu Buhari, had to visit Zamfara State. Is it bad for President Muhammadu Buhari to also visit Benue? Because we are all Nigerians. Is it because Zamfara are also some Fulani in Zamfara, why there's no Fulani in Benue? I think the simple truth has to be told to this government. They have failed. What people expect from them, they have failed. And this, what they will do is that federal government have to make a panel of inquiry to investigate who are these Fulani people. Where do they come from? I'm above 50 years now. And when I grown up, I know Fulani, the way they behave, the way they go around. You can never see Fulani carrying gun. What they carry was arrow, cutlass, and their stick. When did Fulani started carrying gun?
Speaking about controlling their activities, sir.
Yeah.
I think maybe part of the reason the police is not able to combat to, contain this violence is could be because there's some kind of political influence in this whole matter. Because, for instance, we at some point heard that Atiku Abubakar, former vice president, was the grand patron of Niati Allah.
Yeah.
And then now we are hearing that it's Jonathan. So maybe there's a political influence to it. That's why, it's not being able to, come under some kind of control.
You see, if I don't dispute whether there is a political influence there, but critically, the job of a security man, especially the Commissioner of Police, is to secure life and property of that people. Any commissioner that failed to do that is not capable to be a Commissioner of Police in that state. Very simple. And that's why I said, I've told you the Fulani men we know. It's on record. Fulani go around with their cows. They don't carry guns. Now Fulani people are carrying guns. Where do they get that gun? Somebody give them to them. Because some of them that are carrying this gun, they don't even have money. Some they don't even know how to operate it earlier. How do they know how to operate gun? So these are issues that the Inspector General of Police have to go thoroughly onto it and find out what is wrong. These Fulani people that are around this cow, some of them, they are not the owner of those cows. There are some rich men, politicians, who owns those cows. And they give them to them to rear for them. So by the time maybe about 500 cows or maybe 300 cows have been seized from a Fulani man. So the owner of that cow can also buy gun and give it to Fulani man. That's why I say the Inspector General of Police have to do more and find out. Because carrying gun is not a culture of a Fulani man. I challenge anybody in this country. So why is it now that are carrying gun?
So do you support the call for anti-grazing bill, which is currently happening in Benue State, and which the Niati Allah is opposed to? What are your views on that?
This is Nigerian. And even though if it's Nigerian, in my own state, this is what we like. If we say we don't like this, you can't force us on that.
What's your state, sir?
Yes. I think if Benue State came out with their law through their House of Assembly and they say they don't want Fulani people to move around their state, they have their right. It is their right, it is their state, and that is how they want to stay. For me, I don't say anything bad on that. So if today you say you don't want me in this state, another state looking for me, I will go to the other state than forcing myself into that state and causing trouble. Because a lot of lives are going down. And it is because we don't respect our citizens. The government of Nigeria don't respect our citizens. You can't do that in America. One life in America is very important. So why our own is different?
Will there be plans in the near future, for the Arewa Consultative Forum to meet with the Miyetti Allah to discuss, terms?
Yeah, we are planning that because we are an organization who come from North, and most of this crisis is from the North. You see, sometimes we have a government that don't listen to advices, and any government who refuses to listen to people's advice will fail. Before coming of Boko Haram, we've seen it. We have called during the past president, that Jonathan, that the architect of Boko Haram should be Mudi Sharif, because he sponsored Mohammed Yusuf then. It is on record. After he won election, he used them and won election in Borno State. After he won election, he gave them position. Along the line, they have misunderstanding between them, and the crisis of Boko Haram started. Mohammed Yusuf was killed. When after the military arrested Mohammed Yusuf, handed over to the Commissioner of Police, Borno State. What happened to Mohammed Yusuf at the police command after the governor, then Modi Sharif, visited the police command? Some minutes later, he was shot dead, and they say he died. So these are issues we've raised it long before now. They could have allowed that guy to go to court and speak out, let Nigeria hear from him, but we didn't get that, because those people who are behind it, they said if you go to court, they will be disgraced. So the best thing is to shut him dead, and that's all. And the crisis of Boko Haram started from then. Issue of Niger Delta. When Asari Dokubo was arrested, before the arrest of Asari, there's nothing like kidnapping in Niger Delta. But after Asari Dokubo was arrested, some youth also look at it as a way of making money. They started kidnapping in Niger Delta. So things come from at least a reason. So these are things that are coming from those angles. And the government are not, they don't care about what to tell them. What they have to do, what they want to do, they will do it. They don't care whether it is good for you or not. These are problems in this country.
I think we have to understand one fact here, sir. Miyetti Allah says that between February and November, they always converge in Benue State, and that tradition will never be abolished. Understand that? In fact, the anti-grazing bill is not something they support. That's one, and they're against cattle ranching. When you say you set out a particular area, piece of land for cattle rearing. In your opinion, is the position of the Miyetti Allah not primitive? Because we live in the world where technology is advancing, science and technology is advancing. Will it be wrong for the state government to set a cattle ranching for cattle rearers?
You see, let us be frank to ourselves. Fulani Herdsmen or Miyetti Allah that said every year they will gather in Benue State when you are gathering before, there's no any crisis because nothing happened. So there's nothing against that. But now there is crisis on ground. People are being killed. And the family of those people that are killed were still living in Benue State. And you say you want to come and have, I think our security agents have to do something about this. They have to avert that problem. They should stop their conference or whatever in Benue State. Can they choose Adamawa or Taraba, that is Fulani State, or Bauchi? Why Benue State? If there's not something behind it, why Benue State? When we have crisis as now. Truth must be told. What is wrong is wrong. You don't have any two names. That's my position.
Moving forward, sir, what do you think the solution to this problem is?
The solution of this problem is that, as I said earlier, one certain time Buhari was in Zamfara State. They checkmate those armed robbers in Zamfara. They go into bush with the military. It happened in Kaduna State. Why can't they adopt the same thing in Benue State? Let them go into the bush. Begin to find out who are those Fulani people going around with guns. Let them arrest them. Then from there, even the people from Benue, at least they will think and say, government is serious, so we are not left out. I think it will give them at least some sense of belonging. That is what I advise government to do immediately without any wasting time.
So do we expect that the Arewa Youth Consultative Forum would meet with Miati?
Yeah, we are planning about that because it is our region and we have to discuss it, advise them what we see is good to them, for them. And that's our position. And we'll do it by grace or without any wasting time.
Sir, considering that the President, Muhammadu Buhari, is a Fulani man,
yeah,
and so far from the events that have followed, he's yet to condemn the killings in Benue State. He's yet to even tag Fulani Herdsmen as a terrorist organization or a terrorist group, which most people did expect that he would do. What do you have to say about his lack of political will?
Yes, if you look at it, 2015 election, Nigerians love Buhari, not because he have money to give people, not because he's different from any other person, but his character and that credibility he has. People came out and they voted him as a president of Nigeria. There are a lot of promises he made to Nigerians. And for me, I would say only one that he fulfilled, which is the issue of Boko Haram. Because during Jonathan, Boko Haram seized local governments, 4 or 5 local governments. But now there's nothing like that. That is the only place I would say Buhari has fulfilled the promise he made to Nigerians. Any other means, any other way, any other promise he made is failed. If you talk about anti-corruption, there are a lot of issues raised against some of his members of his cabinet, some of his ministers, and nothing has been done. Just like what he told Nigerians the day he was swearing in as a president. That is for everybody and it's not for anybody. We're expecting that statement into action. What that means, whether you are with him, if you have any case to answer, he will hand you over. And we have never seen that yet. Nothing. There are at least 5 to 7 ministers that cases of anti-corruption have been alleged towards them, and nothing has been done. That is one. Two, issue of political will. Maybe I would say because maybe Buhari from beginning is not a politician, and that is why we are seeing all this different from what we know him before. It's never happened since 1979 or 79. That is the first region of Shehu Shagari when Obasanjo handed over government to the civilian government. If you look at it, there are ways they do it. After 2 years, when the government is about to celebrate 2 years, there are achievements. At that point in time, the government, the Mr. President have known who are working for him and those who are working against him. That's why you see changes of bringing another new ministers, sacking some other ministers. I don't know why Buhari is different. If somebody who is a minister under you will tell you, oh, Baba, 2019, I'm not with you, I'm with Atiku, and still yet that person is still working under you as a minister, I think something has been wrong. Something is wrong somewhere. Those people, because each state have a minister, they are your representative from each various state. We have 36 states in Nigeria. And if those ministers cannot do or go ahead with your own agenda, though you assign it, I think something is wrong. And Buhari have something which maybe Nigerians didn't know. And maybe that is the cause of what is happening to this government now. If Buhari tries to say, Mr. A, you are okay, he believes you cannot change. So even if you change, and they are coming to tell him that, so person have changed, he don't believe on that. That also is causing him another trouble in this government. So I think, as I said, what people expect from this government, we've not seen anything. And people are crying. And even when I was watching the book launch on Buhari, I actually told him openly that, look, people are crying, there's hunger in the land. I think that alone is enough for Buhari to rethink and know what to do.
In your opinion, should the Fulani Herdsmen be regarded as a terrorist group?
Why not? A criminal is a criminal. And see, when the issue of Boko Haram started, they aligned that with Islamic religion. And then, along the line, they caused some people who are not even Muslim inside Boko Haram. So, a criminal is a criminal. We condemn it in totality. So there's no something that is bad though. If I do something wrong, I can't wait for you to come and tell me what I did is wrong.
Does the Arewa Consultative Forum regards Fulani Herdsmen as
they are terrorists? They are. They are. There's no two way. They are criminals and they have to be dealt with. Regarding whether they are this, they are that, I don't care. They are criminals. And criminal, we have constitutional law that is in this country. They should follow that constitution and deal with them. That's it.